stamping friends. Well, today is April 4th and last chance order has started. So you can order from the last chance list from our soon to be retiring annual and mini catalog. If you do not have that last chance list, just sign up for my newsletter and I will definitely send that list to you. We have some retiring core colors, which you may have already heard about, and some of our in colors are leaving us, and we will be having some new colors. So when I turn the camera down, I will quickly share those retiring colors with you, which is a great time to order those before they are sold out, and the last chance has started today. Okay, and then I'm going to share a project with you using two products, designer series paper and a stamp set that will both be retiring. So let me turn the camera down and let's start stamping. But before that, I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. I'm so happy you're here to join me. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. So it's time to, anything in either one of these catalogs that you want, go through them and make your list. And again, as I said, that last chance, and I'd be glad to send a copy that is easy to read if you sign up for my newsletter. And let's talk about the retiring colors. Okay, so our retiring core colors, and I'll go through this quickly because you may already have seen this, but Bermuda Bay is retiring, Blushing Bride, Mango Melody, Mary Merlot, Mint Macaron, Pacific Point, Pear Pizzazz, Rich Razzleberry, Sierra Sand, So Saffron, and Soft Suede. I'd love for you to leave in the comments which one are you really sad about leaving. I like Pacific Point. And I just started using So Saffron quite a bit, so those are probably my two. But I'd love to hear what two that you're sad to see go. But I'm also very excited about all the new colors coming in, and then our in colors that will be leaving us: Evening Evergreen, Pale Papaya, Polished Pink, and Soft Succulent. Notice that Fresh Freesia will be returning, so it is not retiring. It will be returning. I love all of these colors, but I think I'm the most sad to see Evening Evergreen leave us. So let me know which one that you are the most sad about us leaving. Okay, well, let's get started on our stamping. So the stamp set that I'm going to use, you'll find in the annual catalog on page 35, Celebrate Sunflowers. If you have this stamp set, I'm sure you are loving it. And if not, you may want to order it. It does have coordinating dies on 175, and I will be using the sunflower dies for my project today. We're going to make 2 cards. And here is the stamp set. It has a gorgeous large sunflower and a smaller sunflower. We're going to use a smaller one today. And we're going to make some thank you cards. Thanks a bunch. And we have some leaves. And let's celebrate you. Congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful. And know that you are loved. So great sentiments in this stamp set. And again, we're going to be using the dies that go with this. And today we're going to be making black and white cards. So we're going to be using black cardstock and white cardstock along with this black and white designer series paper that is in the annual catalog, perfectly penciled. I know the last I checked it was low inventory, so I hope that you have some, or I hope that it is still available. But when I checked last, it was on low inventory, but we still had some. So I have used most of this designer series paper, but it is gorgeous, and you have 2 sides to all of the papers. And we're going to use this for our first card. And again, I don't have all of the designer series paper because I've been making cards with it. But I have several to show you, so you'll know how beautiful it is. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Well, first, let me show you our sample card. So this is the first card that we're going to make. Thanks a bunch. And I'll set that aside and bring in the pieces that we need. So we're going to start with our basic black cardstock, which is cut 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to burnish that with our bone folder. You will need 2 basic white cardstock cut at 5 1/4 by 4, and one is going to go on the inside, and then the other we're going to layer on the front of our card base. But I'm going to lay that aside and bring in our designer series paper that we're going to layer on one of the basic white that is 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to bring in this designer series paper, and this is cut at 5 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to add some adhesive. Looks like I need to take that off, a little dry glue at the top, and then we're back in action. So we're going to go ahead and line this up. While I'm doing this, notice this is my new host code. So if you're placing an order with me in April, use this host code. I know some of you like to call me and I'll place your order over the phone, and some of you like to email me, and that's fine too. And you have my contact. Okay, I need to bring that down just a little bit. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just add this to our card base. Then we will decorate the front. Make sure we have it straight and lined up. I just love black and white together. Kind of makes me think of my mother. She loved black and white clothes, and she was a very stylish lady. Okay, now let's do a little stamping. I'm going to bring in scrap of basic white, and I'm going to bring in the Thanks a Bunch and our smaller sunflower. Now this is not, well, this is our scrap, so just as long as it's large enough for you to be able to stamp your flower, because we're going to stamp our flower. And this card, I don't think I'm going to put the extra leaves on. I am going to turn this over, make sure that I have good coverage. And one thing I want to tell you about this stamp, when you stamp down, make sure that you put pressure evenly on the block, but especially in the middle. Hold it down, maybe a count of 3, 1, 2, 3, straight up, and you will get good coverage. But if you don't do that, then let's see if I have one to show you. Yes, I had to dig it out of the trash. But when I stamp this, notice how this is, the details are not in that center like they are here. And that's because I didn't apply that pressure evenly on the stamp. So a little tip. Just going to lay that aside because we will need that in a second. This is the die, and then I'm just going to place this right over here. And I'm going to run this through the cut and emboss machine. And I have one already finished. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a basic white. And this is not a square. This is 3 by 2 3/4. So it's 3 inches by 2 3/4. But I do want to make sure that I have my 3 going across. And I think I do, but it's always good to double check. And I do. And now I'm going to do some stamping. I'm going to ink up our sentiment, thanks a bunch. And for me, I'm just going to kind of turn this. And then I'm just going to place this right at the bottom. And we have thanks a bunch. I'm going to bring in basic black, and this is 3 1/8 by 2 7/8. So you want to make sure you have it the right way. And then I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet. And we're going to adhere these together. Well, that's not true. I mean, I am going to do that. But before, we have one more step that we're going to do. So, let me grab our embossing folder. Here is our embossing folder. And this is that painted texture. And we are going to put this inside our 3D embossing folder. And you can make 2 of these cards at once. So you can fit 2 of the basic white inside. So I'm going to run that through. And I have one already completed. Thanks a bunch. And you see and now I'm going to bring in the silicone craft sheet. And now we're going to adhere this. But you want to stamp your sentiment like we did first, and then use your embossing folder. So I just have like 1/8 of an inch border of the basic black. So it just gives a hint, but I do want it to be straight. Just gives a hint of that. Bring our card back in, and I'm going to put this in the middle, but you could put it down here towards the bottom. You could put it up here for something for different, but I am going to go ahead and I'm going to pop up this with dimensionals. I was going to say I was going to pop up this square with dimensionals, but it's not square, so I can't say that, can I? All right. So now, and yes, I need to turn that around. And we will add this. Another idea is we could add some ribbon around our first 2 layers if we wanted to. Now I'm going to add some dimensionals on our sunflower. And then we're going to pop this up about right here. we're going to bring in our matte black dots that are in our annual catalog. And we have two sizes. There's a small and a larger. And I'm going to pick up one of the larger ones and put that right in the middle of our sunflower. And then pick up the smaller. Maybe I need some more putty. And I think I'll add it right here. You can add them whatever you would like. And I'll just leave it right like that. So here's our card, and it is quick and easy. We just need to, if you want to, you could stamp a flower on the inside. I would do that before I adhered my basic white layer inside, but thanks a bunch. So here it is without those extra leaves. And then our sample card had the extra leaves. So what do you think? Do you think we need those extra leaves maybe to add to the card? At first I thought maybe it was too much, but now looking at this one without the extra leaves, I feel like this needs something extra. So what do you think? I think it does. So let's just bring in. Bring in that scrap of basic white. We die cut the sunflower out, and we'll go ahead and stamp our leaves. And we'll die cut those out. And here we go. And I'm going to turn those, our leaves, over and add a dimensional. Because I think that we do need to add. But you let me know in the comments. Do you like it without the extra leaves, or do you feel like we need them? And I'm just going to tuck that under right there. And then just kind of tuck that right there. All right, so here's the first card. And the second card is similar, but we're going to be using some different designer series paper. Going to move this out of the way. Okay, we're going to change it up just a little bit. We're going to start, instead of a basic black card base, we're going to start with a basic white card base. And this is basic white thick. As those of you that know and watch me regularly, you know that I like to use the basic white thick for my card bases, and then use basic white for layering. And then I'm going to come in with a basic black layer, of course, which is 5 1/4 by 4. And then I'm coming in with a designer series paper that is different than our first card, but this is on a series paper, again, is still in the perfectly penciled, and it's 5 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere these two together. And we don't need a layer for the inside, because as we're using basic white cardstock, that will work fine. And you could add some ribbon around here and tie it in a bow if you wanted to. I'm going to burnish our cardstock, just our card base, one more time. And I'm just going to lay that aside, and let's go ahead and do our stamping. So I'm going to bring in basic black and basic white. And once again, this is 3 by 2 3/4. But I want to make sure that my 3 is going across, and it is. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to stamp our sentiment. The sentiment is almost as long as the ink pad, so you want to make sure that you get the corner, so look and see. And again, once again, I'm going to turn that like this. There we go. And then I am going to bring in the painted texture. .3D. We're going to go ahead and run this through the cut and emboss machine. And we already have one already finished. And I also have a sunflower already cut out. So we're going to go ahead and add this together. And I'm using my silicone craft sheet. I probably don't need it, but I just don't want to get any, in case I get any excess ink. I want it to be on the silicone craft sheet, which will wipe off when it dries, and not on my grid paper. So, and that basic black layer is, let me look at my notes. That would be 3 1/8 by 2 7/8. All right, now let's put our card together. So as you can see, these are really quick cards, perfect to if you want to make multiples of these. And you could most certainly change your sentiment. Maybe you have a birthday sentiment that you want to send. And you can make these all birthday cards, or you could choose another sentiment from the Celebrate Sunflowers. I really like that one sentiment that says, know that you are loved. It's another really good sentiment, isn't it? We're going to turn this over and pop up these two layers. I've added the dimensionals. Taking off the backing, bring our card. I'm really tempted to just to put it down here or something different instead of up here. So I think I'm going to do that. It's always good to change things up a little bit. And we'll add our dimensionals on our sunflower. Okay, and we're going to put our sunflower right here. I'm going to bring in our matte dots. And while I'm adding the embellishments, if you would like a calendar, I don't know where that came from. If you would like the new annual catalog, then please, in the description, there's a place to where you can contact me. And I would be glad to send you a catalog. If you're a customer of mine, you already may already have your catalog, or it's on its way to you. But if you're not a customer and you would like a catalog, then there is information in the description about that. And I'm going to go ahead and use the large, and then come back. We're going to put a small one right there in the middle of that little flower. And I just feel like we need another one. So that gives us 4. I know a lot of people like to use odd numbers of gems, but today we're using an even number of 4. So here is the second card, quick and easy. So let's look at our cards today. So, sample card, the one that we made together. And then our second card. And here, I used basic black for the card base, and I used basic white for this card base, so we just kind of interchanged it. Although I put our smaller layers at the bottom of the card rather than in the middle like I did this card. So let me know which card that you like the best. Quick and easy cards. I'm Terry Hartley at Rustic Barn Cards. I appreciate you being here. Please don't forget to subscribe by clicking that subscribe button. I'm really trying to grow my channel, and I appreciate all of you that have subscribed, and I hope that you'll find value and subscribe. I'll see you next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Have a great week. See you soon. Bye for now.